Go.
Let's go. Here we go. What's going on? I'm Sean. My name is Sean Lermanis. First of all, before we get started, did you find the place okay?
Yeah, everything was pretty easy to find,
Oh, it's
but
relatively easy.
Yeah, pretty easy.
surprising she gets lost everywhere she goes,
Did you guys come here together?
unfortunately.
Oh, sounds lovely.
Glad to know how this is going to start off.
Okay, well, we're going to start off by telling you a little bit about me. I graduated from Northwestern University. I have mediated many cases. I don't know the exact amount. I know it's more than I can count on two hands.
Maybe we gotta throw the feet in there.
Sure, I don't know if it's that many. Now, come on. But I just want to explain the mediation process. It is, first of all, totally voluntary. If you don't think it is helping in this case at all, you can walk out at any time. But I'm not here to reach a decision for you. I am just simply here to help you to reach a decision together, to throw out some ideas at times, but nothing more than that. I have a couple ground rules that I always assess in every case. First of all, do not interrupt one another when they're talking. Wait till they're done, and then you can speak, even if you don't agree with what they're saying. Secondly, try to be as respectful as possible. I understand sometimes it gets heated, but try to maintain a professional and respectful manner towards each other. And then other than that, is there anything you guys think we should cover as ground rules?
I feel that we should be going along with respectful, no name calling, no childish behavior.
No taunting, she makes faces. Like, it really distracts me. It makes it difficult for me to be in the same room because I just can't fathom how another human being could look that way. So when she makes those faces, I'm going to need that not to happen during mediation.
So wear a mask, I guess.
I'll hold my paper up like
Alright, I'm going to write down the rules here so you guys can always see what they are. And let's see, the first one was respect. Second one, no interrupting. I feel like a teacher.
And definitely no taunting.
3, no taunting.
Also, no trying to put financial status over others.
No.
Alright, that's not a rule we can agree on, I'm sorry, that's not a rule. Okay. Now Mom has brought this issue to the table. We're going to let her talk with her opening statement, and then you are going to go. You okay with that?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, go
So,
ahead.
my name is Rachel, and Ryan and I have been married for 15 years,
Yeah.
unfortunately. We're going through a divorce right now regarding our 2 sons, and so I would like for my sons to be in my custody with visitation, of course, and to help my boys with their sports, their academics, and to get through this difficult time for the boys. They're confused and having a hard time figuring out what to do with the situation. So I just hope to make this easy for them and help them through.
Okay. Dad, your turn.
Alright, perfect. So, some of my concerns are that, historically I've been the breadwinner for the house. I've made sure that all the bills got paid. I've made sure that she had money to do whatever she wanted, support whatever bad habits she has. More recently, she has taken on a job, a full-time job, and she's able to support herself, which is wonderful. She should have been working all along. And now she's able to support herself and not necessarily support the kids in the same capacity that they have been supported for the beginning portion of their life and what they're accustomed to. My primary concern is making sure that the boys are able to continue in their home environment where their friends are at. This is a crucial stage in their emotional development and their growth as people, that they're able to stay with their friends, stay in the environment they grew up with. I personally believe it's important that both parents are involved in the kids' lives, so I'm perfectly okay. I don't care I'm not really looking to set like a visitation schedule. If Rachel wants to come over on a Tuesday afternoon, we're amicable enough to where she can still come over at any time that she wants and get the boys, as long as it's not she's not signing them out of school or doing anything disruptive like that. I personally don't care because I don't want to make this any more difficult for the boys than it already is. I just don't believe that with her financial situation and the amount of stress that's gonna place on her, that she's in an adequate position to take care of the boys in the same way that I could, having the existing background that I have, working and still managing to be a great father to my children. Right now, you know, the boys, I would like for them to continue being in some contact sports. I think, you know, makes it a little tough, get a few bruises, nothing wrong with that. And, you know, she would prefer they be little ninnies, and I'm not really okay with that. So, with that being said, I would really like to just make sure that the custody agreement is such that the kids stay at my house and Rachel can do whatever she wants to them whenever she wants. If she wants, I especially know, I know her birthday is very important. Mother's Day obviously is the day that we're gonna want the kids to be with her because I'm not a mom, so I don't need them with me on that day. So I'm willing to be very reasonable. I just don't see it in a fathomable reasoning that she needs to have the kids at her house. She can't support that financially, and I don't think I should have that burden.
Okay. Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set an agenda of different topics about what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna cover one at a time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna write them on the board here as we talk, or as we discuss what's the first and foremost thing you guys wanna talk about.
My financial stability, because clearly that's a problem in your eyes.
Okay, so that's
I think that's more based in custody of the kids though, because that's the only, I really don't care what you can't afford. I just care that the kids, where they're living, is financially stable for their needs. And you've already suggested to me that it's not the case based on your financial ability to support the kids in the way that they have been. So now your expectation is that I have to pay for them to live in your house because you can't support that, which is unreasonable and unnecessary. I'm okay with sending them with money if you want to take them out for the weekend and you can't support that, fine, because I want our kids to have that opportunity. But I think custody should be the subject, not your financial inability.
okay.
Well,
Okay.
you would still
Hold
be
on.
paying.
I'm gonna interrupt here real quick. We're not quite done with this agenda. First, we need to figure out what we're gonna talk about in a list, and then we'll attack each issue as presented. So first and foremost, what is the most important issue here that you see that would take the longest time to discuss?
Living arrangement for the boys.
Living arrangements.
Yeah, I
Okay.
will agree with that.
That is number one.
Right.
I will write that one down.
So interesting. We get along more at a table with another person than we could ever in our marriage.
It's because you know how to act when other people are around.
Hmm.
Okay, so living arrangements is number one. Why did you pick such long words? Okay, what is the second thing that you guys would like to discuss?
Custody or visitation from there, so living arrangements would be more of the custody side and then visitation after that, I assume.
I mean, I already made it clear that once the boys are living with me, that I'm not concerned about you coming and visiting at any time.
Well, we
Okay.
should still discuss it for just old time's sake, you know?
So you would like visitation to be second, okay? What would you like to discuss after that?
We can either discuss the public school versus private school, or we could discuss the sports.
I think schooling would be more important. She's so worried about these sports, but I think school should be first and foremost.
Okay, so then that,
I'm concerned about the children's safety.
so that just leaves the sports left then? That'll be the last
Yeah.
topic we discuss?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so we will start by discussing the living arrangements. And again, Mom, since you brought this issue, and plus it's just common courtesy, right? You gotta let the ladies go first.
If that's what we're calling her.
Common courtesy says the ladies go first, and you brought the issue at hand anyway, so floor is yours.
Very well then. So yes, I do have the job, and though the job is not enough to support me and both boys, you would be paying for child support if the children were living with me. So if we stayed either at our current house or I moved to a different residency just to detach from our old flame, it would be all right and I would be able to support both children. So I feel that I, as a mother, would be able to handle raising them for the last few years. And though, also another thing, just to touch on, though you said that you would like me to work during their younger years, you also want me to be a stay-at-home mom for those younger years, so pick one.
Well, you didn't do a good job at either, so I kind of failed picking the candidate, but anyway, let's let you finish.
Keep continuing.
Oh, I was done at that point,
Oh.
so.
So that was just a little side comment. Okay. let's hear your take on this whole living arrangements.
So you're right. If they lived with you, I'd have to pay child support. I don't want them to live with you. That's why I'm not. And here's the thing: I don't want your money. I don't want really anything like that because I understand. You're doing well for yourself. You now have a job that's awesome. I don't want your money. I don't want to make it any harder for you to function in your environment. I'm offering you to have full visitation of the boys at any time without even having to set a schedule with me in any form or fashion. I don't really understand where the disconnect is. They can continue to live in the house that they grew up in with their current set of friends in that same neighborhood versus moving to another neighborhood that you're currently looking to stay in. And they can continue to, I won't have to pay child support because it's just too much work to have to do that. And you don't have to pay child support. You don't have to set a visitation schedule. I just don't think that with your work schedule that you'll be able to adequately provide for the boys in the manner that I can. I have a very flexible hour job because I'm a business person. I'm able to set my own hours. I can work from home a lot of times. With this new arrangement, I've already talked with my direct managers and their higher ups, and they're okay with me working from home on a more permanent basis. I just don't see in what realm that you think it's reasonable that I should now have to pay you because you work now, and you should have been, aware that going into this job and looking to divorce me that things were going to be very different for you. That all of a sudden now you want the boys to live with you in a neighborhood outside what they're comfortable with and not have to deal with the same things that they've been accustomed to dealing with their entire lives. That's just ridiculous.
So just to clarify something, you're saying that if I let the boys live, if I let you have custody, I would be able to visit whenever I wanted.
Yep.
Would I be able to have them come over for overnight stays?
On the weekends, yeah. I just don't want it to interfere with school. But like, if you wanted to, like, let's say it was a holiday weekend, and you were like, hey, I'm going to go visit my family here, like wherever that is, and you were like, I'm going to want the boys for the next 3 days, I don't care as long as it doesn't interfere with their school. Their education is very important to me, and that's why I'm really pushing on the matter of the schooling. I don't care if you take them for overnight stays or if you can legitimately commit to it and say like, hey, I'm going to take them Tuesday night, it's really important to me because it's my birthday, I'll drive them to school Wednesday. I'm okay with that as long as there's that communication. What I wouldn't like though is if you were taking them every single week, Monday through Friday for some randomness, and then I don't get to spend any time with the boys because I did make sure I rearranged my work schedule accordingly. I don't foresee it being an issue though if I'm in the house at the same time as you come over to be with the boys and you're like, hey, I want to take them out for lunch or I want to take them back to my place to play with my dog or to do whatever. Like, that's not a concern of mine, and I don't foresee that being an issue like you do.
And even if there is court-mandated child support, I wouldn't necessarily have to pay for it.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell the lawyers that that's not an expectation of mine. I don't think it would be fair, seeing as we've already discussed the fact that you're not even able to afford having the boys at your residence full-time. I don't think it would be fair for me then to expect for you to have to pay for the boys that you couldn't afford to have at your house anyway, which is why I want them to stay at mine. I think it would be unreasonable and damaging to your financial stability.
Okay, so now you help me out here. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. Feel free to step in anytime. So what it sounds like he's saying is that he wants full custody, but you don't have to pay child support because he knows that you can't really afford it. You can afford yourself. I'm not saying you don't make enough money to support yourself, but not necessarily the two boys. So he's not making you pay child support. That sounds fair. And then you can visit whenever you want. All you have to do is just call them, let them know you're coming, as long as it doesn't interfere with their schooling. So are those terms that you could agree upon? Do those sound reasonable to you, or what are your thoughts towards that?
Those sound very reasonable, actually. I think I can agree to that, actually. So.
Okay, very well. I'm glad we could agree to that. And so let's see. So we got living arrangements. Now let's.
I think we took care of visitation.
I think we took care of visitation too.
Yeah.
That was pretty. That's pretty well. We talked. They kind of went hand in hand with one another, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So how about schooling? Let's go to schooling because that seems to be kind of a rather big issue.
They should be going to private school. I mean, they need to get into a better college so that way they can be in a much better financial stage in their life than myself or hopefully even you. We want our children to surpass us. So they should be in a private school so that way they can get that better education and get into a better college in the future. That's my personal opinion.
I think, in all honesty, that's ridiculous. Yeah. I need to use the washroom and I'm gonna deal with you when I come back.